Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am really excited because I'm going to be doing some book tier ranking videos for you guys. This one is going to be all the series that I've ever read. So I saw Haley over at Haley in Bookland do this, so I'll link hers down below. And I am really excited about it. I have, I think, 33 book series on here. So yeah. Let's jump into it. It's gonna take a minute. I don't even know how I'm gonna rank these, but I think it's gonna be so much fun. If you're new to my channel, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you want to see more from me, definitely hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content. But let us get into this ranking. The way that I have decided which series to put on this list is, of course, series that I have completed, but series that I have read 2 or more books in, I am going to include as well. Unless they're like the Wheel of Time that has 15 books in it. If I've only read 2, I'm not gonna count it, but if I've read like 3 or more in the long ones, I'm still gonna go with it. So yeah, my video, my rules. Okay, so let's get to ranking. Okay, I feel really bad. So the way that I set up my ranking system here is I use the grades for Harry Potter OWLs just because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan and I thought it would be fun. So outstanding is my top tier. It exceeds expectations is the second one. Acceptable is the next one. And then poor, dreadful, and troll. So I don't know if I'm gonna put any in troll, but we'll see. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. Okay. First one that I have is Twilight. This one was pretty bad. I think it's gonna have to go into the dreadful tier because at the time, I did enjoy myself reading it. Was it a great series? No. Did my little teenage self kind of enjoy it? Yeah. So it's not gonna go in the troll tier. Sorry guys, I know most people have been putting it down at the bottom, but it had a little bit of enjoyment factor. Okay, Mistborn. I definitely am going to put this in the outstanding tier. This is one that I recently finished and my goodness, I loved it. It was so good. Mistborn is just amazing. I recommend it to anyone if you love fantasy, even if you don't love fantasy. It was so great. You should definitely check it out. Okay, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. So this one, I absolutely loved the first book in the series, and then the second one was okay, and then I loved the third book, and then the fourth one was okay. So I think this one's going to go into the exceeds expectations tier because the first one and the third one I loved, but the other 2 were kind of like 4 stars, so exceeds expectations for that series. Okay, The Cruel Prince. Ugh, guys, I did not love this series. It was dreadful. I thought it was so bad. I didn't really love it, so sorry. It's gonna go into the dreadful. I did read all 3 books though, so kind of proud of myself for that. Seraphina. I did like Seraphina. I thought it was really good. I loved the first book. The second book, I think, tried to throw in too many characters and trying to get attached to all of them and learn all their backstories was a little much, but I did really enjoy the characters in Seraphina. I liked the world. I liked the social things that it talked about. So yeah, I am going to put this one into the acceptable tier because I liked it quite a bit, but it's not amazing, especially if like you include the second book in there. Whew, hair in my face. Okay, Illuminate. You know, I'm going to put this one into acceptable as well. I didn't honestly love it as much as some people did. I thought it was pretty good. I liked the first book the best, and then I didn't really like the characters that much in the second book, and so it didn't love it as much. And then the third one, I still liked our main characters the best. Our first series or first book main characters, and so I think I kind of missed them. So that's where that one's gonna go. Okay, The Seventh Tower by Garth Nix. I read this when I was a little kid. It was honestly, I liked it so much when I was younger. I thought it was really, really good. And I read it probably like 3 times, but it's just kind of a little kid's book series. I think there's 6 books in it. It's a middle grade series and I liked it. I'm going to put it into the acceptable tier because I really enjoyed it as a kid. I don't remember that much about it. I remember they had like stones that helped them perform magic of some kind. I'm not positive, but That was really fun. Okay, Strange the Dreamer Duology. So this one I recently completed. I really loved it. I loved the characters and the writing style was beautiful. The world was amazing. I really, really enjoyed this series a lot. So I am going to put it into the Exceeds Expectations tier. This is just a duology. It just has Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares. So I really liked it a lot. Okay, the Wizard's First Rule series, I guess it's called the Sword of Truth series. I only read the first 3 books in this series, to be honest with you. And I'm going to put it into the poor category because there were parts of it that I thought were fun. I didn't think it was amazing by any means, but it was okay. It had some good stuff in it. And the second book I really disliked, but the first one was okay. The third one was okay. So it'll go into the poor tier. Okay, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. So I loved the Netflix movie, and so I decided to read the series. And I thought the first book was great. I think the second book, honestly, was my favorite in this trilogy, which is odd because it's almost never my favorite book in trilogies. It's usually my least favorite. But then the third one I didn't love as much. I didn't think that the characters were the same, which makes sense. Like, they're growing older, they're changing, but I just didn't like some of the stuff in the third one as much. So I will put this one in the acceptable tier because I did like the first 2, but the third one really wasn't my favorite. Harry Potter just goes in outstanding. I'm never gonna ever put that any lower than outstanding. So yeah, loved it. It was great. It was really, really good. Okay, Daughter of Smoke and Bones trilogy. I honestly was surprised by how much I enjoyed this series. This is also by Laini Taylor, same author of Strange the Dreamer. And this is a young adult fantasy series, and I loved it. The writing was awesome. The different twists were great. I don't know. I thought it was really, really fun, and I liked it a lot. I'm going to put it into Exceeds Expectations. Okay, so I put the Ender's Game series kind of on here. I'm not really sure if it's a series or if they're just kind of like companion novels, but I read Ender's Game and Speaker for the Dead, and they definitely go together. Like, they have it, it's a sequel pretty much. So I loved Ender's Game. I thought it was so good. I absolutely loved it. And I liked Speaker for the Dead pretty well, but it was not my favorite. So I'm gonna have to put it into acceptable just because I thought Speaker for the Dead was pretty slow and not a whole ton happened, but I thought Ender's Game was amazing. Okay, the Caraval series. I am gonna have to put that into the Dreadful tier. I did not love it. Dreadful. Poor Dreadful. I don't know. I don't know which one to put it in. I didn't like the characters. I liked the world. I liked the carnival setting and the whimsical, magical, a little bit dark, and you didn't really know what was going to happen type thing, but I didn't really like the writing of it. I didn't think it made sense sometimes. Okay, we'll put it into poor for right now. I might change it later. Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. Yeah, I'm going to put that into the poor section just because I feel like I just kept reading it as when I was younger because I was taking these little tests that go along with it and I got points for it and they were really, really easy books. So, okay, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I'm actually going to put it into the poor category because I thought the first book was pretty good, but I felt like it just kind of went downhill after that and I didn't really like it as much. But when I was younger, I just kept reading series anyways, even if I didn't like how they continued. So Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is going into the poor section as well. The Bear and the Nightingale. You know what? I think I'm going to put this one into the outstanding category. I absolutely loved this series. The first book and the third book were definitely my favorite, and I think a lot of it had to do with the settings because I loved the magical woods settings, and those were the first and the third for the most part. And it was so beautiful, and it was just magical. It just felt like a fairy tale, and I absolutely love these books. Okay, The Hunger Games. I absolutely love The Hunger Games too. They're going to go into Exceeds Expectations. They were great, and I am going to be doing a reread of them right before the next book comes out, and I'm super excited for it. But yes, The Hunger Games is always going to be one of my favorite series, and it's just something that is so unique, I think, to the young adult genre. And I'll recommend it to everybody. I thought it was kind of a weird concept when I first heard about it, but I really liked it. Nevermore. Okay, so this one only has 2 books out and I've only read 1.5, but I am really, really loving them. Ooh, okay, where am I gonna put them? I love them so much. I think I'm gonna put them into outstanding. I just think they are some of the cutest books. It's actually a middle grade series, and it's just they're fun, they're entertaining. I'm actually laughing at a lot of the stuff in here. I think the main character is just she's got a little bit of sass, and she's just the cutest little thing. So I'm gonna keep that up there. And also her patron, Jupiter. Come on, who does not love him? Okay, the 5th season. This was such a great series. I absolutely loved this series. I thought it was so good. I think I'm actually gonna put it into the outstanding section. I feel like I had a little bit of trouble getting through the second one because it got kind of slow, but the ending to this story, I loved it. I loved the ending to this trilogy. I just can't get over how much I actually loved how this trilogy was ended. So yes, the 5th season, definitely check it out. I loved it. Crazy Rich Asians. Okay. So this series, I felt like I would like a lot more, and I think I would have in general enjoyed it more, but so much of it was about the clothes and the designers and the artwork and the architecture and all those things, and I just did not care, for one, and also I didn't understand a lot of it. I'm from the boonies. My Under Armour was nice for us, right? So no, this type of thing is not necessarily my favorite thing to read. And plus I really didn't like how it ended. I did not enjoy the ending of this trilogy. So I'm going to actually put it into the dreadful section. Did not love it. Okay, The Name of the Wind. This one might be a little controversial because I love it. I absolutely love it. I love Name of the Wind. I loved Wise Man's Fear. I thought they were both phenomenal, some of the best books I've ever read, and I love them. But I'm going to put it into Exceeds Expectations here because I do not trust that the author is going to publish the 3rd book. I think that he's never going to put it out, and that just makes me dislike the series a little bit. It kind of taints it. So unfortunately, otherwise it would have probably been an outstanding tier. Okay, The Selection. Okay, this one I must put a clarifier on that for this. I think I'll rank it on all of them. So it's the trilogy, the original trilogy plus the final 2 that were added on. And with the final 2 added on, I'm gonna throw it into the poor tier. If it was just the Selection series, I actually had a really good time reading that series. Blew through it, read it on some night shifts, and it was pretty good. It probably would have been acceptable, but those 2 books at the end that were added on at the end, that were kind of sequels, no, not so much. Did not love them. They didn't need to happen, so they knocked it down a tier. Lord of the Rings, it's outstanding. It's amazing. Love it. It's a classic. If you haven't read it yet, you definitely should. So good. Okay, I don't think I need to say anything more about that. The Shadow and Bone series. I just finished this series, and I feel like I enjoyed the first book pretty well, actually. The first book probably was it was a high 3 stars. I liked it. It was fun. I was getting into it. But then the second book was pretty lame. I was not that into it. And then I didn't really like the ending. Didn't like how things were set up and that. So I'm actually going to put this probably into the poor tier just because of the last 2 books. If it was just the first one, I would have put it into acceptable. But the second 2, the second and third books just weren't what I was expecting, what I was hoping for, not how I would have liked it to end. Okay, this one is probably going to hurt some people's feelings a little bit, but City of Bones' Troll. I cannot stand Jace or Clary. I do not like either of those characters, especially Jace. He's a ridiculously insufferable character, and I just could not take it. And the weird incest stuff, no. Nope, sorry, no. Okay, Artemis Fowl was also a series I read when I was younger, so I think I read the first 4 books in it because they kept continuing out, but I kind of got older and I stopped reading them, but I did really like them when I was younger. So I'm going to throw this into the acceptable. I don't remember everything, but I remember loving them when I was younger. So it's going to go there. Last Star Burning. I actually DNF'd this series. I read the first 2 books in it and I have no plans to read the third. I just did not like the main character. The first book was okay and I could kind of tolerate, but then the second book, she became so annoying and just thought that she knew everything and she was better than everyone else and everyone should just do what she said no matter what. And that just bugged me because she had no idea what she was talking about. There was nothing to qualify her for that level of arrogance. So, okay, we're going to throw it into dreadful. The Magicians. Now, the Magician series, I have very mixed feelings about it because I feel like I read it at a time where it wasn't a good time to read that. But I liked it, but there were parts that I just really didn't love. It's kind of, I think I'm actually going to put it into the acceptable tier because it was good. I really did enjoy it. There were just parts of it that I felt were unnecessary and it was just kind of thrown in there to make it adult content in there, but it didn't really add to the story. It didn't have any purpose, so I thought that was really weird. Okay. Aragon. The Aragon series, I know a lot of people hate on it, but I absolutely love this series. I had so much fun with it when I was younger. I think I read the first book probably 3 times, and the other one's like once or twice, depending. I think I've only read the last book once, but I really liked it. It was a really fun world, and I know it is very much compared to Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Kind of, they think it's a hybrid of those, which it kind of is, but I liked it and I had a good time. So I'm going to put it into the exceeds expectations tier. Really enjoyed those books. Thought the world was really cool. Characters were really cool, especially the dragons. They were really awesome. So, okay, we have the Graceling series by Kristen, I think. Can't really read it on that book. Too small. But, okay, these are such good books. I don't know if you guys... They're kind of older YA books, but they are so good. There's some of the older YA books that I feel like have stood the test of time better than other ones. They actually hold up and they haven't turned into those, old YA books where, yeah. But I enjoyed them a lot. I loved Graceling and Fire. They were definitely my favorite. Bitter Blue was not that great, unfortunately, but I absolutely love the first 2. So I'm going to throw this into the exceeds expectations because it did exceed my expectations. I didn't think it was going to be that great, but it was. Vampire Academy. Okay. This series I read when I think I was just in a perfect place to read this series. It was just something I really enjoyed at that time. I have no idea how it would be if I reread them now, but at that time, I loved them. They were so much fun for me, and I'm going to throw them into the acceptable tier because looking back on them, I can see where there would be issues, but you know what? I liked it. I had a lot of fun with them, and they were great for the time that I read them. And the last series that I have is the Legend series by Marie Lu. Yeah, I didn't love this series. I thought it was boring, super predictable. The characters were just kind of typical characters, they weren't original. It was a very tropey series, and you just could see everything coming. The characters were very much, this super, super talented but poor kid, and this super, super talented but rich kid, and how they have to team up to save the world. And I was like, yeah, sometimes if tropes are done really well, like that's fine, I don't mind. But when they're just kind of tropey, I don't necessarily enjoy it. So I'm actually going to put that in the dreadful tier. Hey, I feel like these are pretty even. I didn't throw too much except for Troll that only got 1. Sorry, Mortal Instruments. Fingers crossed Infernal Devices is better. But yeah, those are the series, unless I've forgotten some series that I have read, which is possible. But let me know down in the comments what you think. If you disagree with me on any of these, definitely let me know. I'd love to chat with you down in the comments. And as always, if you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe icon and the subscribe button and the bell icon. And definitely, if you make your own one of these, link it down below in the comments so that I can go and check yours out as well, because I think it'd be really fun to see the different opinions on the different book series. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.